Hi, you're watching Martial Reader. Now that they arrived at the teleportation gate and have defeated all adventurers that went through, they decide to go through the teleportation gate. Wazzy felt butterflies in his stomach and his hands trembling in anticipation, since he is about to enter the starter village. For the current him, the humans at the starter village are like babies, and he is the adult who is going to be stealing all their candy, as he laughs while thinking about doing horrific acts. While he says out loud, "Starter village, this lord is coming for you," but he hits a warning sign, as this filled the place, and a flyer comes flying at his face, and as he looked at it he was surprised. How could it be possible that this world's language is written in English? But he decides to forget it, and assumes that it must be a part of the perks of transmigrating. After all, he can understand what the humans were saying and read the words on the system. Meanwhile, at the starter village, an endless stream of people entering and exiting. Suddenly a high-level monster appeared, causing panic, but before it could kill anyone, it was dealt with quickly. While the arrows almost hit Wazzy, now he remembers that villages and towns always have invincible NPC guards. Therefore he thinks of a way to enter the village. As he looks at Piggy, he got an idea. Then a hooded individual is walking amidst the crowd, as they gossip about the current happenings in the village, while the hooded individual is dangling an apple in front of him. As he was about to enter, the sentry soldiers ask him to stop, so he did, but the soldiers just reminds him to dispose of his apples properly after eating, or he will be fined for littering. As it turns out, the hooded individual is Wazzy, wearing a mustache made from Piggy's fur, and using a robe from the mage that was killed by the Father Hawk, and is using the apple to guide Piggy forward, using its smell, as he taps himself in the back for being such a genius. In a change of scene, the center of the village is brimming with life, and with different variety of shops were available, such as a potion shop, weaponsmith, monster barbecue, and a library. While Wazzy is thinking that although he has seen this kind of scene multiple times while playing games, it's a completely different feeling being here in person, but he decides to find a place to collect information on how to change class first. While they were strolling, he noticed that everyone gathering around in a single place, so he went over to look what's happening. As it turns out, the newbies have gathered and was talking about how they couldn't go out anymore to level up, and couldn't collect ingredients for their class change. So now they're hiring a level 60 brave. But they lose hope, since a level 60 brave wouldn't be in a starter village to begin with. While Wazzy hears this, he remembers hearing that the snail daddy shell was used for class changing. While the newbies are discussing on what would they do now, since the price of snail shells is now over 50 gold coins each, the rich people can still afford it. But what about them? And if they don't hurry up, they might just miss this year's class change ceremony. Which the Baldy just faced the truth and tells her that there's nothing they can do. The class change ceremony will be held this afternoon. Even if they can go out right now, they might not collect enough. Not to mention there are high-level monsters out there right now. Which she asks why would they hire a level 60 brave to fight a normal mushroom. He answers that the mushroom monster wasn't normal. Not only did it have a bunch of abilities that normal mushrooms don't, it's also intelligent and knows how to strategically use its abilities. They couldn't escape, even after they climbed onto the platforms. Hearing this, Wazzy now realized why there were almost no more people showing up, and it's because he scared them all away. But it's also a good thing he never met the level 40 brave, and not to mention if they somehow really hired a level 60 brave. After receiving all the information he needed, he decides to go now, but unexpectedly he trips, and now their cover has been blown, and they are exposed for everyone to see. So he cowers down as he fears that the people will call those sentries by the gate, but he was ignored. While the newbies wonder whose pets they are, and the owner must be very rich to be able to buy these monsters since their popularity has been skyrocketing recently. He noticed that they are not attacking and now see other monsters walking around too, since Beastmaster can sell monsters they have tamed to others as pets. However, the level of control other classes has over monsters is low, so they can't control high-ranking monster species. Now he assumes that they think he is a pet. With this, it makes things much easier for them. Therefore he follows the most familiar-looking character he saw and blend themselves as a pet, and before they realize they are now at their destination, so they leave the group to go to the village's head. Now that their goal is up ahead, they can't be seen walking around all alone without a human, so they follow the next human who walked past them. As they were too busy conversing about meeting each other coincidentally, Then the black-haired adventurer was wishing he had chosen to become a priest instead of a beastmaster, since the biggest guilds are constantly recruiting priests and healers for their teams. Which the orange hair responds that he is looking down on them beastmasters, and reminds him that the strongest beastmaster, Lord Barbaro, is ranked 3rd in the entire Brave mainland. He's only ranked behind the Sword Saint and the Elemental King, those 2 legendary figures, and it's said that even angels and demons were subdued by Lord Barbaro, and they should also try their best, and maybe one day they can also tame a powerful high-ranking monster. Which the black hair wasn't too optimistic as him, as he states that the angels and demons are beings that are untouchable to even high-level braves, and he wonders what level Lord Barbaro has reached to actually be able to tame them. And as for people like them, they are more likely to win the lottery than reach that level. Which the orange hair asks where is his ambitions, and advises him to dream big if he wants to achieve more. While Wazi was just now informed that there are angels and demons in this world. Now that they are in front of the village head's house, they felt nostalgic and was reminiscing the past. While this was the perfect opportunity for Wazi and Piggy to go, as the 2 continues to talk and was envious of each other for having a mushroom monster that's rising in popularity right now, and a rare ribbon pig, which they both thought the other secretly summoned them a while ago. As they realize that the 2 pets are not theirs, they look back at it, but they were gone before they knew it. Meanwhile, the newbies are waiting outside for the village head to appear. As they are starting to get impatient, the door finally opens, and the village head named Broccoli emerged from the dark while he was barely holding himself to stand, and was apologetic since he overslept. But the newbies still respected him, so they greeted the village head. Then he orders them to go inside, so they did, while Wazi is now in his robe, and was thinking that this village head seems to be a little senile, so he should be able to sneak in without him noticing. But as he was the last one to enter, the village head stops him. While Wazi thinks his cover has already been blown, the village head tells him that outside food is not allowed in the house, so he took their apple, which Piggy tries to revolt, but Wazi managed to stop her. Now without the apple they were struggling to navigate the place, but they still got through from the dark hall. Then Wazi was amazed to see the divine tree in front of him, and the 1,000 of books that is gathered here, and this made him think. Looking from the outside, he thought this place would be like a small wooden hut. Who would have thought that such a majestic tree exists here? Then the village head tells them to put the materials in front of the divine tree mother so they can start. While Wazi asks himself, wasn't the village head behind him? And why is he suddenly so energetic? Then the village head asks everyone to bring their materials out and pray to the divine tree mother. She will be the one to help them unlock a class based on their talents. And once the ceremony is over, they can come back tomorrow to find out what class they unlocked. So they did what they are told, but the village head noticed that Wazi is just staring, and advises him to quickly bring out his materials, which he was hesitant, and asks if he can use other things as a replacement, since he has something more valuable than a snail shell. Which the elder says no, and clarifies that other than snail shells, he doesn't need anything else, and asks him if he is here to cause trouble. Wazi retreats, as he noticed the village head is like a completely different person, and wonders why he is so determined to get snail shells, while the system appeared, and informs him about the previous mission failing, so a new mission will be issued, which annoyed Wazi since he is in trouble right now, so he talks to it irritably, but the village head hears him using Monster's tongue. So he approached Wazi as he states that humans can't hear them when they use Monster's tongue to speak to each other, and asks him who he is. As Wazi was still talking to the system, he asks what does he means by Monster's tongue, but the village head suddenly vanished, as he appeared in front of him and was about to strike, while the system issued the new mission, so they were teleported before the village head could kill them. Now they are suddenly teleported to the penalty space. Wazi wonders what happened, but he soon realizes where he is, so he asks why he is getting a penalty for not doing a mission, which the system explained that because he has continually refused to do the missions given by the system, he has entered the penalty space, and his goal is to jump up 10,000 platforms, and if he fails to complete this within the time limit, he will be penalized with death, which the timer has started counting down. This greatly annoyed Wazi as he curses at it for being a petty son of a bitch, because it never mentioned there was a penalty for declining missions. But the system is still ruthless as ever, as it doesn't care, and just wish the player all the best, and it recommends the player to start moving as the timer has started, which Wazi shouts at it to get back. but he soon realized that it was useless to shout at the scammer system, as he wonders what to do now, since he has no choice but to do this. If he doesn't, he will die. 10,000 platforms in 1 hour. That's almost 3 platforms a second, so he has no time to waste. He then orders Piggy for them to go, since they have to make up for the time they already lost. While he looks at the platform, he was thinking that with his mushroom bash, getting up by a few platforms at a time is possible, so he used it and was successfully at the nearest platform he could jump to. Then he asks Piggy to quickly come up, since their life is at stake. But Piggy was just circling around and was trying to tell him something. Now he realized that Piggy couldn't jump that high, so with no other choice he carries Piggy on his back. Now he successfully was able to jump on few platforms already, but this puts too much strain on his body, so he was thinking to rest, but he knows now is not the time for a rest, so he took out his potions to keep going. After that he started to leap again, but while they are in the air, Piggy sneezes. This made them fall few platforms, which they received damage, so he is thinking if he misses his jump a few more times, he might just die before the time is up. And looking down, it doesn't seem to have a bottom in this place. It was a good thing they landed on a platform, otherwise they would instantly fail. He then tells Piggy that was too dangerous, and advises her to warn him before she does that next time, or else they are going to fall down again, which she claims she understood, but he knows that she doesn't. Then several mushroom bash is used, and potions devoured as he jumps through the platform without stopping. He made progress slowly but surely, while his mushroom bash was leveling up since he has been using it continuously. While he was thinking that even though it's hard, carrying Piggy while he jump is quickly leveling up his mushroom bash, and as the level gets higher, he can jump higher, with a shorter cooldown. Right now, he can pass 10 whole platforms with a single leap, and before he knew it his mushroom bash reached level 10 and they are now in front of the last platform, while there is still 2 minutes remaining. He was thinking that as long as he can make this jump, they will be able to escape from this place, but the distance is a little too much, so he advises Piggy to not move, since they can't afford to make any mistakes here. After preparing themselves, Wazzy uses bash to leave this death trap, but he failed as they fell several platforms again, while he was cursing since they didn't even get close. But he went back to try once more, but he kept on failing again and again. Then as he was about to try again, Piggy interrupts him with a lick. He tells her that now is not the time, but Piggy hops off from him and nudges him, telling him to go without her. He realized what she meant, while Piggy just smiled at him. As tears comes out from him, Piggy comforts him, so he used mushroom bash again, and without Piggy, his max level mushroom bash was easily able to bring him to the last platform. As he was thinking perhaps this was all planned by the system to help him grind experience for his abilities, but in turn Piggy was left behind, so he asks the system if his assumptions were right, and that this is his punishment, so Piggy shouldn't be affected by the penalty, which the system informs him, regardless if the host completes the requirements or not. Once the time is up, the penalty space will collapse. As for the result of whatever is still inside, there is only death awaits them. Now that there is only 42 seconds remaining, he looks at Piggy and apologizes as he looks up at the exit, and so he jumps. Now he is back with Piggy. This shocked Piggy, while he states that he will never leave here without her, which Piggy revolted and was trying to convince him otherwise, but his mind was clear as he looks at her and tells her again that he will not leave her behind, because they are going to leave together. This action made Piggy realize something that she never knew before, so she hops on Wazzy's back again, and for the last attempt, with hope and determination, they use mushroom bash again, so they got closer than ever before, but still that wasn't enough. Therefore they fall for their death. As they were falling, Wazzy closes his eyes, as he curses that they are really going to die this time, but he soon remembers what he saw in the Mushroom Kingdom, and just like how that bomb shroom shot itself forward, now he knows what to do. But there is just 5 seconds left in the timer. He grabs on Piggy, and now it was all or nothing for them, so he uses Spore Explosion to his limit and rapidly lets it out, as he unlocks Mushroom Jet Stream, and was able to complete the mission in the nick of time. Hit that like button and thanks for watching.